Hello, Union family. I'm Charles with American Workers First. This is Union Facts Friday, and today we're talking about what is the Taft-Hartley Act. The Labor Management Relations Act of 1947, better known as the Taft-Hartley Act, is a United States federal law that restricts the activities and power of labor unions. The act was actually originally vetoed by President Harry Truman, but an override vote led to it becoming law in 1947. For some context, in 1945 and 1946, a heavy wave of major strikes impacted the United States. Nearly 2 million workers engaged in strikes or labor disputes, which organized labor had mostly refrained from during World War II. Because they loved their country and were willing to sacrifice wage and benefit increases for what they believed was the good of the nation. But with the end of the war, workers believed they should share in the gains from the economic resurgence of a post-war America. Now, as you can imagine, there were many corporations and political figures who weren't too keen on sharing, and that's how we ended up with Taft-Hartley. There are many things that the act does, but we're going to focus on two. Number one, strikes and boycotts. Jurisdictional strikes, wildcat strikes, solidarity or political strikes, and secondary boycotts all became illegal under the amended National Labor Relations Act. President Truman actually called the act a dangerous intrusion on free speech. To give an example, let's say we have three people that are standing on the corner. The first is an employee of a store, and he has a sign that says, "Don't shop here because this company uses products that are made with child labor." The second is an employee that's holding a sign that says, "Shop here, we have the lowest prices around." And the third is a non-employee who has the exact same sign as the first employee. The first person holding the sign is actually violating labor law and has no protection under the First Amendment freedom of speech. The second two are absolutely fine, even though the third person is holding the exact same sign as the first person in that example. Figure that one out. Now on to number two, right to work. The Taft-Hartley Act did away with the closed shop era in America. Workers were no longer able to bargain contracts in a unionized workplace that require all members who benefit from a CBA, collective bargaining agreement, to contribute to the cost of union representation. These freeloaders still receive the benefits of being dues-paying members, but do so at the expense of other members who are paying for them. The union is still required to represent them and bargain for them. It's a violation of labor law for them not to, but they get to decide for any reason or no reason at all that they aren't going to pay and that their coworkers are required to pony up for them. To put that in perspective, imagine if anytime someone was upset with the decision made in the country, they could opt out of paying taxes, but still use the roads, go to the parks, get their mail delivered, and send their kids to the public schools, all without paying a dime. How well do you think that would work? It wouldn't, and it doesn't, and that's why we need to end right to work, because it's wrong for workers. Thanks for joining us on Union Facts Friday. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep demanding that American workers get put first.